São Paulo draws once again in the Copa Sudamericana, this time against Millonarios in a 1-1 draw, in Dorival Jr.'s return and reunion with the fans. We're speaking here directly from Morumbi's stadium, and with this result, São Paulo is now 7 games without a win. It's going through the worst phase of the season, right? The longest winless streak of the season, and I'm going to do a quick analysis of what this game was like, what actually happened, and how the return, right, of Dorival Jr. went for the third time. The coach who was announced on Friday was presented at Barafunda Training Center this Monday, led only one practice, and was already in charge of the team here at Morumbi's. Unlike the way Roger Machado was being received, Dorival's name, as soon as it was announced on the big screens, right, as usually happens here at the stadium, was heavily applauded by about 15,000 fans. It was the lowest attendance, right? Dorival made this appeal at Monday's press conference. He said he wants to bring the fans back to Morumbi's. He wants to restore that bond between the team and the fans, which was lost a lot because of this series of results. And the political side, right? The club's current situation also greatly impacts things. But talking about the game, right? Dorival went to the field with the best he had available, right? Collie was left out as the surprise absence after feeling some discomfort. The team also had the return of Alan Franco and Luciano, who had missed the last match due to injury. Caleri, who was suspended against Fluminense in the Brazilian Championship, was also back in the squad for this Copa Sudamericana game. He will be available for the next round of the Brazilian Championship as well. So São Paulo started the game really well and created a lot. There were some defensive mistakes, especially on the left side with Enzo Diaz, who was heavily criticized, especially in the first half. Luciano managed to score a goal around the 8th or 9th minute of the first half with an assist from Bobadilla, who's already keeping an eye on the World Cup, right? He'll probably be on Paraguay's call-up list for this World Cup cycle, so he's a player who's really proving himself and has some good stats. São Paulo created many chances in the first half but couldn't finish the game. The stats show they could have sealed it, but they failed to convert their opportunities. In the second half, the equalizer came from a defensive blunder, once again involving Domingos. Right? He's a defender who's been heavily criticized by the fans. He had already made mistakes against Corinthians, and he made mistakes against Fluminense too, right? Both of Fluminense's goals in the last match came from his mistakes in that area, and the defense has really been one of São Paulo's weak points in these recent games, right? It's mostly because the team lacks options, right? They loaned Ferraris to Botafogo, and Arboleda, who's sidelined, won't return, as Rui Costa mentioned during Dorival's introduction, right? Due to management's decision and his recent issues, Alan Franco passed through the mixed zone and was asked about Arboleda. And he said that even though they are friends with the player, it's a matter for the management and they don't have much say in it. They can't do anything about the choices the player makes in his personal life, which is exactly what happened with Arboleda. So São Paulo is going through a very complicated moment in defense in the back line. And that mistake, which led to the equalizing goal by Millonarios, was exactly his fault. It was a mess he made in the defensive area. Minutes later, he ends up in a very reckless situation, bringing down the Millonarios player in the box. The referee ends up awarding the penalty, and luckily for São Paulo, the shot goes over the bar. The player takes a really bad shot, so São Paulo goes home with a point, but suffers much more for having lost those two. Why? If they had won this game, they would have already secured their spot in the next stage of the competition. Their spot would have been practically guaranteed. Now, it's not certain. Depending on the combination of results, São Paulo could actually lose the lead. Remember that in this stage of the competition, only the first place goes to the next round, right? And the second goes to a playoff. If São Paulo could have secured their spot today and relaxed for the next round, things would be different. Now the situation has changed and the upcoming matches are tough, right? On Saturday, they face Botafogo at home in a round of the Brazilian Championship. São Paulo is currently in 4th place, but they're in this situation with the results. It will also be Dorival's return in the Brasileiro, and next Tuesday, also here at Morumbi, they'll face Boston River, and then, yes, they'll decide their fate in the Copa Sudamericana. Of course, we'll bring you all the post-game information here on Lance, but we already know that the main focus of Dorival's work and concern at the start of his journey in this third stint will be the defense. You're tuning in. I'm Isabella Gianola, São Paulo's beat reporter here on the site. And of course, you can follow all the information about São Paulo with us.
So, did you like this video? Then like it, share it with your friends, and take the opportunity to subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell so you receive all the updates on the content published here on Lance TV.